So, MeQuot, one of the most mysterious and disturbing figures in Die of Death, a man impaled by a sword, yet somehow still alive. Not just alive, hunting. But what if I told you, MeQuot didn't become this way by accident? What if someone did this to him on purpose? And not just anyone, but Shadletsky. The dark truth behind MeQuot. So, who is MeQuot? Let's start with what we know. MeQuot is a skin-for pursuer, a terrifying entity obsessed with hunting. But unlike the others, he has a sword stabbed directly into his torso. And here's the weird part, that sword isn't just decoration. It's heavily implied that the sword is what's keeping him alive, meaning if it gets pulled out, MeQuot might finally die. So this raises the question, who stabbed him? Now this is where things get interesting, because that sword, it's labeled as Telamon's sword. And if you know Forsaken lore, you already know how big that is. Telamon isn't just some random name. Telamon is Shadletsky's darker identity, his bad side. So now we have a direct connection. MeQuot has Telamon's sword in his body. Telamon is Shadletsky's dark form, which leads to one terrifying conclusion. Shadletsky might be the one who stabbed MeQuot. So what does that mean? Let's think about this. If the sword is what's keeping MeQuot alive, then Shadletsky didn't just attack him. He essentially cursed him with immortality, forced to exist, forced to hunt, forced to suffer. That's not just killing someone, that's turning them into a monster. Now here's where things get even darker. In Forsaken lore, there's always been this comparison. Shadletsky created one X through his hater. 7 and 7 raised 2 kids who became a killer. So both of them were responsible for one killer each. Pretty balanced, right? But if this theory is true, that balance is completely broken. Because now, Shadletsky created 1x1x1x1 and possibly turned MeQuot into a killer. That's 2 kills across 2 different realms. And this brings up a serious question. Does this make Shadletsky worse than 7 and 7? Because think about it, 7 and 7 didn't force Kid into becoming what he is. They raised him. There's still some level of choice, influence, complexity. But Shadletsky, if his theory is true, he directly created suffering. He took someone and turned them into something another. Not by accident, but by action. So now MeQuot isn't just a creepy skin. He's evidence of something bigger, something darker. A connection between Forsaken and Die of Death through one person, Shadletsky. Or should I say, Telamon. But hey, that's just a theory, a really dark one. Let me know what you think. Was MeQuot a victim of Shadletsky, or is there something even deeper going on? If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.